Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. So today I am at work, as you can see, and I'm going to be dividing and storing Canna bulbs for the winter time. This is something that they do every year, so that way they can reuse the bulbs, put them in pots, and then sell them again in the spring. And I just want to show you guys what this process is like, because it's a little bit tedious, but definitely an interesting process. And you can take this information for a lot of other types of bulbs, like dahlias are a huge thing that you can store, caladiums, lots of other stuff. So I just want to show you what they do here and what I'm going to be working on today. Also, I don't have my microphone with me today, so I apologize in advance if there's a lot of background noise going on. But this is what I have for today. So these are green Canna lilies. A lot of them that were left over from the season, they just look like this in their containers. They were cut back already. You can see there's a little tag right there. And let me show you what we're gonna do with them. So we take individual containers like this, empty them out onto this table, take away all the soil, break them apart into the different tubers, and then over here, these are the red cannas. This is what they look like when they're all taken apart. Some of them are quite large like this. We also cut the roots off of these too. Some of them are kind of on the smaller side. The ones that were in containers tend to be on the smaller side. The bulbs are smaller. This is something that was likely grown in the ground, and then they dug this up and then brought it back to the nursery. So all the red cannas are done so far. You can see there's a lot of tubers. And then I just have all those green ones that I'm going to be working on for today. In all these containers over here, this is sawdust. This is what they use to store them in. I'm going to show you this whole process, but the sawdust is used to get rid of any moisture in the bulbs so that way they don't rot, but keep a little bit of moisture in so they don't desiccate either. And we just do layers in these containers for doing a little bit of sawdust, a little bit of tubers, a little bit of sawdust, and so on and so forth. So I start off with a container like this, flip it upside down. This one, see how easy this is to get out. Just a few times. There we go. And then it can come right out. These get very root bound throughout the season, so it's a little hard to break these apart. You can see some of the tubers just on the edges starting to pop out. And then all I want to do is just kind of break it apart with my hands. Just grab the soil, and then I have a container like this container I can use here. And then I can just put the soil in here just to get it out of the way. So I just want to pull away all this soil, and then these, sometimes you can kind of grab it by the cane, take away the soil. Now something like this, what I can do is I can cut off the top, cut these away. I don't need to do it perfectly, but just cut away all the roots. And then this here is pretty much ready to go. What you want to do is just cut the roots back so that way there's not too much left in here, and then get rid of as much of the soil as possible, because the soil will trap moisture and that will make these rot. Then they can go right into the container. That's pretty much it for this. I just keep peeling away, getting all the bulbs. Sometimes I kind of peel everything away, put the bulbs off to the side, and then I will clear off all the dirt, cut all the roots back, and then throw them in one of these containers. And then once they're all ready to go, we'll put them in the sawdust. Once we got all the bulbs done, you can see that we have this, and I did call this sawdust. This is more like pine shavings, not really sawdust. But we do a thin layer at the bottom. You can see the bottom there. It's probably like an inch or two. Then I'll just layer the bulbs in. Just gently lay them in, fill up a layer, get them on there. And then once we got a layer looking like that, you can just layer it with more pine shavings. Doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but just enough to cover them. And then I would obviously start another layer. So it's a pretty simple process, just a matter of taking the time to do it. It's a little tedious, so I don't end up really working on this for more than like a couple or a few hours each time I work, just because you can kind of go crazy doing this, but I've got other perennial stuff that I can work on for today. Besides that, I'm just gonna get started with this. So I'll just show you guys the process, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so that's all I actually could do for today. I wasn't able to put anything in the sawdust, but that's not too big of an issue. The bigger deal is actually trying to take them out of the pots and clean them all up. Putting them in the sawdust is really quick, and one of my other coworkers, I think, is gonna do that during the week. Here's what I got done so far. So these are all the green cannas. I got this full crate done, and then I also have this crate here as well. And then there's also all these red crates that were from last time. So I don't think there's too much more left to do, but they look pretty good. You can see kind of like what things look like in the end. There's no roots on them really. We cut back all the stems, just the tubers that are left. And I think that's it for cannas that we have left for this season, although there might be another group of them coming in from somebody else who wants to bring them into the garden center. We're not too sure about that yet, but everything that we have at the garden center at least is cut back, and we just have to put them in the bins of pine shavings. So that was pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys a little insight to stuff that we're doing at this time of year in the garden center. The rest of the day, I'm just going to be moving perennials back to our greenhouses so that way they can survive throughout the winter, because it's going to get cold this week. We're starting to feel it today, but I think we're going to see temperatures in the low 20s in the next week or so. So we just want to get those protected for the winter time. If you guys want to see anything else like this, any more garden related stuff that I do at the garden center, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll know that you're interested in seeing more of this kind of stuff. I can't record a lot, but I can do at least a little bit of stuff throughout the year, I guess. Kind of just depends on how busy it is. Like, this is not a busy time of year, so I can kind of work on that kind of stuff and show you guys what I'm doing. But besides that, I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one.